So this is going to be the first video of Kotlin Crash Course series. In this video, we will talk about variables and data types in Kotlin. And I will be using IntelliJ IDEA as an IDE for running all the Kotlin codes. So here is our IntelliJ IDEA. Let's make it full screen. And we don't by default get a file here. So what we do is we go to this Kotlin demo 1. And here in this sources, we right click, then we have new, and then we have this Kotlin file slash class. So click enter. Now here we have to enter the name of class. So let's call it main.kt. kt is the extension for Kotlin. So hit enter and it will open the file for Kotlin. Okay, let me just zoom in. Okay, let me just get rid of this. So if you remember, in Java we have public static void main. We had a main function, and here we also need a main function. So what we type is we simply type fun, which stands for function, and here we call it function and not a method. We used to call it method inside in Java. So here is a function, and let's call it main. And here, if you remember, we had string args. We have something similar like that here. So we type args, then colon, then array string. Okay, just don't get confused what they are, just go with the flow here. Okay, so this is the default function that we have in Kotlin. We have function main, then args, then array of string. This is same what we have string args in Java. Now here what we have to do is let's create a variable, and for creating a variable here we don't have to specify if it is either integer or string or double or float. That we had to do it in Java. So what we type is we either type var or val. That's it. We only have these two. So let's start with var and let's call it age, and the age is 23. So here you can see, okay, we also don't need this semicolon. It is just fine without semicolon. So we have var age is equal to 23. We haven't defined what data type is it is. So if I enter integer as a data type, Kotlin is smart enough to know that okay, this age is going to be of integer. So let's print this. So for printing this, what we type println, and here in the braces we simply pass age. So okay, how we can run this? Go to project mode, right click on this, and here we have, okay, compile main.kt. So it will compile things for us. So here is that button to compile. So here you guys, as you can see, we have this green triangle button. So if we click on this, it says run main.kt. So click enter. So here you can see we got this 23, which is our age. So here also we can modify our age. Let's say age is 45. So all of a sudden the age is 45. So let's run this again. Okay, as you can see here, we again got this triangle green button which says run main.kt. So click here, and so here you can see we got this age 45. And if I change it to val, let's say this is val, and then age is equal to 45. So you can see here is an error. It says val cannot be reassigned. So defining a variable to be val, that means we cannot reassign it. So we can only, so initial value of age is 23, and what we cannot do is we cannot reassign any value for this age. That's what val does. So we don't need val. What we need is var. Yep, that's it. So let's see how we can define string. So for defining string, what we type is simply var, let's call it name, and this is the name. Yep, that's it. Simply this is how we define a string. We have var, name, and string. And if we passed a string, this Kotlin is smart enough to know that okay, this name is going to be of type string. Now if I make this name to be age, which is 23, which is an integer, it will throw an error which says we want string but you have passed an integer. So we cannot do this. Okay, so now let's print name and age. So what we type, we simply have println So here we type my name is let's say name, and age is age. So now here we have this name and this age. Here we have to pass this variable. How we can do it? For doing this, we simply use dollar sign. So dollar sign, then the name of variable. So here in this case it is name, and the name of variable here is age. So what we do is we type dollar sign then age. This is how we use a variable in the println statement. So let's run this. And here we have my name is Abhay, age is 23. So if I change the name here and let's rerun this, we have my name is Ravi, age is 23. So this is how it works. Let's change it back to Abhay. And one more thing, that is we can define the data type of the variable. How we can do it? Here when we defined a variable, here the variable is age, and if we know that this thing is going to be of type integer, so what we do is we simply type colon then int. This is how we can define a variable and specify the data type, which is int here. Although this is not necessary, but if we know that this is going to be an integer, we can do it. So it is 23, and if I just make it string, this thing is valid anyways. But if I do it as int, now this will throw an error, and that is we want int but what passed is string. So let's change it back to string. So here it is. Now let's say here is int and this throws an error. But if I remove this, and here it don't know what the data type is, so we can even pass any number here, and it will be happy, and it doesn't throw any error now. But if I define it that this thing is going to be string, then it will throw error. Here we have to pass a string. So this is how we define variables in Kotlin. So yep, that's it for this video, and in the next video we're going to see how we can add comments to our code, and even we are going to see some of the maths that we can do with Kotlin. So see you in the next video.